Well, while we wait for a few more people, I did want to mention that we have some exciting news here at IAD. I'm Michelle Damian. I'm the sales broker manager. But we have exciting news. This is coming from our marketing department. We have launched a podcast called Direct Insurance Podcast, or we'd like to say DIP. This podcast is intended to help educate, train, and provide additional help and resources to our independent agents and brokers across the country. We are happily on 3 major listening platforms. That would be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So we would love your support. If you just go out to Insurance Advisors Direct Facebook or LinkedIn page, you can share our DIP announcement and post to all your network and your friends and followers. And please subscribe to the podcast on your preferred platform and leave us a review. So that's exciting. Very happy about that. And today joining me is Jason and Anna from Humana. We are going to be talking a lot about the plans they offer, from the veterans plan to DSNP. And so I am going to just turn it over to Jason and have him kick things off.
I'm going to kick something, that's for sure. Thank you. It's so nice to be here with everybody. Thanks for the invite.
Yes.
Anna, are you able to jump out of mute zone?
Here we go.
I know most of you, I think. And the name under your face is my name. It's really throwing me off. So I'm the broker relationship executive for Michigan. And Anna, introduce yourself. I'm just gonna let you do that.
Sure. I'm Anna Bonet. Maybe I can change my name on here, but I think because I used Jason's link to get in, that's why it's showing me as you, Jason. I'm the broker relationship manager handling the entire state, and Jason and I are the tag team for all of Michigan. So for all of you.
Wonderful. Well, it's great to have
share
both
my
of you.
screen here, Michelle.
I think I've turned that on for you, so I believe you should be able to do that.
Oh yeah, look at that. Boom.
Oh, wonderful.
This is a image I took, and I bet you Heidi knows exactly where this is. Some of you might recognize this.
I do not, but that's a pretty cool picture. I like that.
Are you able to put your guess in the chat box, Heidi?
Do we see?
Paying attention.
Yeah, she put in Marquette.
That's it. Yep. What do they call this particular? It's an old iron ore loading dock. So the ships would pull up and they would drop that side down and load the ships up with iron ore. So this is right downtown Marquette. Beautiful Marquette.
Yeah.
Where's the Q&A box? I'm going to open this up. I'm going to go through a bunch of information. Some of you know a lot of this. Some of you don't know some of this. Wherever you're at with your knowledge is great, right? So please, any questions you have, throw them in that. There's a question and answer section. If you can see where you can click into that, feel free to chime in along the way here. I want to give you a list of the team we have covering Michigan. There's a lot of us. Anna and I are most available for the partner brokers, which you guys are. Joe Urka, you can see his name third down on the left there. He's the senior market manager that covers the UP. And then Melissa and Amanda work specifically with DSNP. So up in the Upper Peninsula, Northern Michigan, Central Michigan, Grand Rapids market, all of that is a PPO DSNP area, which we'll talk about. And then that greater Detroit market is the HMO DSNP area. And that's all they do is work with the DSNP. All right, so 2023 became such a huge growth time for Humana. And a big reason for that was following 2021, 2022, usually it's like a 2-year cycle on when you do plan design change. Based on feedback from all of you, here's what Humana came up with. This is what we needed to do to best help membership, to grow Humana, to do things the right way. Dental is huge, so that big improvement on dental. There's always room to grow with that, but of course, never know how far can you go with it. We've got Flex Card down in the Detroit market. We've got the Healthy Options Card in all of Michigan. On that spending account card, OTC benefits around there, and we'll talk more about that in detail. And with the HMO plans out of the Detroit market, those members can use the HMO network nationally now. So that was a really huge improvement. So for those people traveling down to Florida to stay warm and get away from the ice, as long as they use Humana's national HMO network there, they're good to go. I'm going to give this slide to Anna.
So many of you might be familiar with this just from AEP, but if you're not, or even if you are somewhat familiar, we're going to go a little bit in depth on it. New for 2023, Humana rolled out this green Visa debit card. It is called the spending account card. And there are one of three, sometimes two of three of these categories that if you see these three light green boxes of potential funds that could be loaded on it. So when we covered the DSNP, this card is going to be loaded with that top thing called Healthy Options Allowance. And it's a monthly dollar amount, and we'll cover what it can be used on. But because it is a Visa debit card, you are able to use this retail. So as long as it's a participating store like Kroger, Dollar General, Walmart, things like that, you can use this Visa debit card there. The second two categories you see are the over-the-counter allowance and flex allowance. So every single one of our plans has an over-counter allowance that when you see the dollar amount associated with that over-the-counter allowance, usually it's quarterly, it will be loaded onto this exact same card every quarter for them to use, again, whether they want to go to Walgreens or Kroger to get their OTC items, they absolutely can. And lastly, there's two plans in Michigan with a flex allowance, and that is going to be for covered dental, vision, and hearing expenses. So yes, your member, depending on the plan they are on, might have both their OTC quarterly amount loaded on this card, as well as their annual dental, vision, hearing flex dollar amount loaded on this exact same card. Our point here is everyone gets a card. So please let them know this is coming in the mail. And yes, you have to activate it just like a credit card.
This phone number listed here is a very magical phone number, not only to activate any question a member has, they call here. How much money do I have left to spend on my account card? Can you find me the closest location? I use it for this can of creamed corn, whatever question they have, they can call this, and all that this number is gets them to people, some actual people that can answer their questions about this card. Silver Sneakers, like a lot of these added benefits, is something a lot of people know about before they get into the world of Medicare. Silver Sneakers is the option for people to use for gym memberships. It covers the cost of the gym memberships at a lot of locations nationally. And if they don't ever go to the gym, they can even get like a at-home workout kit that they can use. And this next slide that talking about Go 365 kind of ties in with that too is members automatically get Humana's Go 365. It's just a membership award program. So if they go to Silver Sneakers and have a workout, it counts towards points. The easy things people are getting points for with Go 365 are with the routine things they do, the annual wellness exam or a colonoscopy. That equals points, or dollars, I should say. It's not actually points, it's just dollars that get put on their account. They either call in or go to their online myhumana.com account and just choose their gift card. So annual wellness exam, $25. Either call or go online and just choose which card to get for that. And these dollars add up throughout the year. So I'm going to give this one back to you, Anna.
Sure, thanks. I'm going to still reference this even though the change took place almost a year ago, but Humana Pharmacy changed their name to Centerwell Pharmacy. And I have to admit, you guys, being in Michigan with the Spectrum Beaumont merger to Corewell, this is really giving me like a problem because it sounds very similar. Okay, the Centerwell Pharmacy is the exact same service that you are used to with Humana Pharmacy, except for now that it's payer agnostic, so they can accept other payers. But the point here is, and what you want to understand for your members, the benefit of this service is that it fills 90-day supplies of medications, including diabetic supplies, and it is shipped right to your member's doorstep. So if there are transportation barriers to the pharmacy, or they just would prefer to save the time of having it shipped to their door, they can. Centerwell Pharmacy also does a lot of the work for you as the agent. So when your member is considering Centerwell Pharmacy, a technician, an actual pharmacy technician, will reach out and do a medication review with your member to talk about if these supplies and medications even fit within, the scope of what they can provide as far as 90-day supplies. It's just a great service. They do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. Once you, during the enrollment process is usually the easiest, where you can elect to have Centerwell Pharmacy reach out to your member. It's not signing them up. It is simply just saying, yes, you'd like to speak with someone about it and consider the service. So I think it's fantastic. We have had nothing but amazing reviews on this. As long as your member can utilize that 90-day supply of medication, it's great. What else, Jason? What am I missing?
Talk about how to get consent too. So we're going to skip past this one. Where we at? All right. I'm going to jump into the two dual eligible plans for people that have Medicaid and Medicare. There's four very special categories that qualifies for a DSNP plan, right? FBDE, QMB, QMB plus, and SLMB plus. You can see it on the screen here. So Humana has a DSNP plan available in all counties of Michigan, including Beaver Island out in Lake Michigan. That we have a lot of members out there, actually. It's kind of cool. You get out there by airplane and set up your appointments to meet with people. There's similarities and some differences in these two plans, right? So the one we're looking at right now is the HMO DSNP that's in the 8 counties now surrounding Detroit, Ann Arbor, Flint, and Ingham. Those major areas, right? And actually I think is it in St. Clair now too? Yes, it says it right on the screen. Okay. Here's the cool thing about these, right? Now, obviously, with any carrier, a DSNP plan has 0 copays for anything that's covered. Humana's has $0 copays for prescriptions also. So as long as the prescription's in the formulary, regardless of tier level, it's a $0 copay from wherever they get their prescriptions. Silver sneakers and Go 365, of course, are included. Transportation, they get 100 one-way trips. That's really significant. It's a lot more than most or all the other DSNPs that are out there. And a little bit of detail on that. It's the vendor Humana uses and a lot of carriers use is called Motive Care. It used to be called Logisticare. So Motive Care coordinates those trips. The member calls Motive Care, schedules both the drive there and the drive back. So that's why it's set up as one-way trips. Also, you could do 2 one-way trips on the way to something. If they want to pick up their prescription at the pharmacy, they can do that on the way to their doctor's office. They can't specifically go to a pharmacy. That's not an option with the Motive Care. They can do a gym visit, like they could go to their Silver Sneakers facility with the transportation. They can go to doctors, providers, physical therapists, all kinds of stuff. If they do want to use it for pharmacy, it has to be on the way to one of these other places that they're going. And I'll send you some details on that too. The hearing, that's through True Hearing, and that as there's no cost to them on that. Vision is through the IMED network, so they get the copay at no cost and $500 to use towards eyeglasses or contacts. And there isn't a limit on what they can do with their eyewear. If they need the blue haze reduction put on the lenses, there's nothing saying you can't do these things with the lenses. It's just here's $500 for that. Dental, that has become the hot topic with everything, right? So if there's $3,000 to use, including dentures and all the other fun major work like root canals and crowns, $3,000. They can use this dental out of network. I just don't think that it's a good thing to lean towards with the DSNP folks because they're probably going to pay a lot more for out of network dentists. So help them go to in network dentists. Which network does Humana use is a very common question with the dental. It's multiple. So Humana has a network plus there's 7 or 8 other networks like Dentamax that are included. So when you do the search for dental, Humana Medicare Dental, and it'll automatically choose all the networks, right? So that's the dental with that. The big thing on these two DSNP plans is the Healthy Options card, or the Healthy Options on the spending account card, that green card that Anna was talking about. $175 per month with the HMO DSNP, and that covers food, over-the-counter items, rent, utilities, phone bill. You can use that for a Lyft ride to wherever. It doesn't have to be medical related, so there's a nice thing there. Pet care and supplies, dog food, cat food, that kind of stuff. It can be used for a lot of different items, and it's $175 every month loaded onto that card. With the PPO DSNP, key differences, right? The main thing with it is that it can be used out of network now, nationally, and those folks still pay a $0 copay for all those covered services. The PPO DSNP, in and out of network nationally, and they still pay $0 copay. That's a really big deal with this plan. It makes it so flexible. And I've just heard some really cool feedback, some success stories with it where people are using it in Los Angeles and Dallas and wherever else and not paying copays for things. The differences in the added benefits is the transportation, still 100 one-way trips, but now it's a 75-mile one-way. It's a greater distance because this plan is in a lot of areas where they do need to go farther. And the vision is 300 for eyewear versus 500, and then the dental is 2,000. So it's 1,000 less on, but it's the same kind of coverage. And then the card, that awesome Healthy Options card, is 125 per month. Just a pause briefly after going through those two. Any questions, thoughts, feedback on the DSNP plans? Recap on the Healthy Options card. Most of the questions we were getting during AEP were about that card. What could we use it for? There isn't a list of items, but it can be used for a lot of stuff, right? There's hundreds of thousands of items that it can be used on. So just another little screenshot of some things it can be used for. To get help with like bill paying services, if the member calls that magic number, they can get walked through how to do bill pay and some of these other services too. Is there anything you wanted to add in particular on this card, Anna?
No, I just think, if you do work with the DSNP population, both of the plans Jason covered, they are so competitive. And I mean, it's in every county in Michigan. It's just, we've really invested a lot into these plans. And I feel like Humana came to the market like ready to play. So pay attention to these DSNP plans because they've been selling fantastic within every county, both the HMO in that greater Detroit area and the PPO throughout the rest of the state.
Find out if somebody is eligible. This tool Advantage is really awesome. I feel like they keep adding some nice things, nice features in there. So Advantage, the eligibility verification tool, when you get in there, you can see on the right side that magenta box around there, you can check Medicare eligibility. And then for DSNP eligibility, there's another whole group of information you can get out of that. For DSNP eligibility, you put the year, the state, their name, date of birth, gender. If you have a social security number and plug that in there, it will actually give you their Medicare ID and their Medicaid ID. Have a social security number, it's a nice way to look up those other numbers. And it'll definitely tell you, are they eligible for a DSNP plan? It shows LIS levels. When you do the Medicare eligibility side of this thing, it'll actually show you what plan they're in currently. It'll show you which election code they even use too. So if you're not sure if somebody used OEP or an SEP, then it'll show it in there. So it's a really great tool for you to have access to. The information for DSNPs, like how to work with them or how to market and promote yourself with them, there's a lot we could go into on that. And I feel like if you're wanting to do more on that, get back to Anna or myself and we'll help walk through some marketing planning, some business planning, whatever you need to do with that. A ton of information we could give you on DSNP. We could do a whole presentation on that. Maybe Michelle will give us some time, a different time. But I'm going to send you any information you need on this too. So maybe write down a note if you want some specific DSNP info to shoot me an email. Honor plan, this is all you, Anna. I'm going to let you have all of this honors plan section.
Thank you for the honor. I appreciate it.
Oh, I see what you did there. Super funny.
Go funny. Okay, next screen, Jason. Okay. So Humana has just a very rich history in supporting veterans through a variety of efforts. We have 3 of the logos of the national exclusive sponsorships that Humana has. And this really is a testament to kind of at the core of what Humana is as a company. I mean, we were the first to market with the Honor Plan, which was specifically designed for veterans. Now, do you have to be a veteran to get into the Honor Plan? No, you don't. But the train of thought that we put into as a company to that product years ago was because and born out of so much of the work that we have done to support those who have given to us. So these are 3 of them, but we have a lot of others. Keep going, Jason. USAA, you're going to see this, you probably saw it last year too, but we do have the only recommendation from USAA. We are the only recommended MA plan that they endorse. And we really take this seriously too. I think it goes a long way when you're working with veterans to see that an organization like USAA has really vetted out and looked at these plans and what's at the best interest for a veteran and has endorsed Humana. So I hope that speaks volumes to you because it does to us. Now the Honor Plan, we make it easy. It's statewide, so you'll see that whole mitten in green. It is that open passive PPO. So again, if your member needs to seek care out of network, whether it's out of network in Michigan or out of network in, Mayo Clinic, and go visit Jason in Minnesota, you can because of that open passive network. Now, this is an MA only plan, so you will notice there is no RX coverage. We did increase our Part B give back to $75 this year. Another change, which we try to highlight in the pink there, is that OTC. So again, that over-the-counter amount is loaded on that green Visa debit card at $125 a quarter. Also, I want to highlight the dental because Jason and I were very excited when they rolled out this enhancement to the dental. It is our richest dental as far as embedded dental on plans. It's $2,500 annual, and there is no co-payments on all of those services listed. It is fantastic. So if you think about it, when you're working with a veteran or someone that just does not need RX coverage, but specifically a veteran who may get their care through the VA, they can continue to do so. That's absolutely fine. But this plan has no premium, and it also provides a Part B give back, and it provides that kind of extra umbrella of the ability to get a second opinion if they need it. If they need to go outside of the VA for care, it's there if they need it. So as much as they think they'll utilize it to as little as they think they will utilize it, it provides the added benefits like that OTC at 125 a quarter, and like the silver sneakers gym membership, that Go 365, which is just accumulates points and gives them gift cards. The hearing and vision coverage, all of these things are additional benefits that they can take advantage of and still seek care at the VA if they want to, if that's their preference. If there's ever an emergent situation where they can't get to a VA hospital for emergency care, again, this plan's here to help provide that coverage.
I want to talk a little bit about a couple of things specific with veterans. The first thing is that Part B give back and how that works. They don't get money back. It says give back. What it really does, it's a Part B reduction, right? So with any give back plan, the Part B amount that somebody owes is reduced by that amount. So Part B is reduced by $75. It just means that they don't have to pay as much for Part B, whether it's coming out of Social Security check or they're paying with a checking account or whatever. For folks that aren't paying a Part B premium, if they're not paying for Part B, that means they have some level of Medicaid, right? They're not going to get a give back because there's no way to reduce it. It's an actual reduction in whatever it is they owe. If it's already reduced to zero, it's reduced to zero. There's not money going to that person. So just to clarify on that. Now, some reasons why veterans want this plan is for that, right? The Part B give back, primarily so they can use it outside the VA health system, right? If they're vacationing in Texas and they need to call the ambulance because they're having a heart attack, they can flash their Humana card for the ambulance ride, for the hospital stay, and whatever else. And I think typically they can even get reimbursed by the VA health system for certain things that happen outside the VA system. You can also, the VA health system will refer to non-VA doctors whenever they need to. That community care program, some of you may know about that. That's still the VA health. That's not Medicare. So there's no crossover between VA health and Medicare. You can't use Medicare at the VA health system, and you can't use VA health at a non-VA health center unless it's through the community care program. We could go through on VA health and veterans. TRICARE is a little bit different too. If somebody has TRICARE, that is like an amped up Advantage plan, right? So it's okay to combine with that though. They're using the Medicare providers. They can go to anybody that accepts Medicare with their TRICARE card, right? If they have this honor plan in addition to TRICARE, it's different. Now in a sense, you have two Advantage plans. The providers are instructed to bill the MAPD, not TRICARE. Some of them will bill both. With TRICARE, typically they don't have copays, so that's where the big difference lies. If they use their honor plan and they have TRICARE, they can get reimbursed this copay. It just adds a step to put in that request to their TRICARE program. We do often do some detailed veteran-related webinars, and we're doing some next month. So keep an eye on the newsletter we send out for the dates for you to sign up for that. And again, here, write yourself a note if you want some detailed veteran-related information about marketing and prospecting or details about how it works with TRICARE. Just shoot me an email.
All right. We rolled out a new plan this year. And yes, you are reading it right. It is entitled the USAA Honor with RX coverage. So again, that open passive PPO where you can seek coverage care kind of everywhere, basically, as long as they will bill Humana. It is only located in the green counties that are noted on the map. I want to know a couple things here though. So it does have no premium. It does have that 75 Part B bit give back. I want you to know a couple things though here that are different. There is an RX deductible of $350 on tiers 3, 4, and 5. The OTC debit card is a little bit slimmer here at $50 a quarter. But that green debit card is going to be loaded with that $50 a quarter. It's also going to have $250 annually loaded for the covered dental, vision, and hearing. So if you look down below to that dental box, you'll see it's $1,500 annually, and there's no co-insurance on the listed items, but there is 50% co-insurance on things like crowns and bridges and root canals. So that flex card could potentially be used if your member needed to use that to pay for co-insurance. Again, it's dental, vision, or hearing services, and both are loaded on that debit card. Yeah, that's about it.
I'm gonna zip back to that slide, a couple in here too, so you'll see that again. In all of Michigan, except for the Tri-County of Detroit, this $0 PPO is the top selling plan, for a lot of reasons. And again, all of the PPOs Humana has in Michigan, copays are the same out of network as they are in network, and that's nationally, right? As long as that provider will bill Humana, you're good to go, right? It has the debit card at 75 per quarter, and it's on that spending account card. Is the same exact green card. This plan doesn't have anything else added onto that spending account card outside of that OTC amount. The prescriptions on this are $0 for tier 1 and tier 2, and that's anywhere. And with the MAPD plans, there isn't a standard and preferred retail pharmacy. So whether they go through Central Pharmacy through the mail order or locally at the mom and pop pharmacy or wherever, those copays are the same, which is pretty great. Dental on this one is $2,000 to use annually. And it again is a PPO dental, so they can use it out of the dental network and still have that $2,000 to work with. Keep in mind, dentists that are out of network most definitely will charge more than the usual and customary rates. If you all haven't had a lot of interaction with dentists, I urge you to do that. It's a great place for you to get referrals, you to help dentists navigate dental plans from Humana and other carriers you might have for dental is a huge win for them. And so they'll repay you by referring business to you. Keep that in mind with dental. My handy tip for the day. The $0 PPO that's in the Tri-County area has a different number, but it's virtually the same as what we just looked at, okay? This one, in addition, has Papa Pal. So that's a pretty cool add-on, is that Papa Pal program. People come into the house and take care of the dishes, cook for them. They can even give them a ride to the library, right? So it's a really great add-on for this particular plan in that Detroit market.
Mm-hmm.
Big one that everybody's asking about is this. This is the big give back plan from Humana. It's $102 monthly Part B give back, and remember what that means, right? It just means that the Part B is reduced by that amount. So if somebody has Medicaid, this isn't the right plan for them, okay? This isn't the right plan for people that know they're going to go in frequently for who knows what, right? Or if you think it's too confusing for people to manage a deductible. So you can see in this third line here, there is a $675 medical deductible, does not include preventive care, emergency room, urgent care, or ambulance, or some preventive, the routine preventive stuff that Medicare covers is what that means on that preventive care. So for example, if they go to their primary care doctor, I know it says 0 here, but keep in mind they have to pay the full deductible before they get to 0. So if a primary care doctor bills $200, Member pays that $200 until they've met that full deductible. Okay, so this plan is fantastic for a lot of people. Combination of either people that don't go in often, or just make sure that it's a person that's going to understand they're going to pay towards that deductible first. And I wanted to show you the overlap with this particular plan. It's $75 a month versus $102, but it does not have that medical deductible. So if you're in one of these 8 counties, I highly recommend looking at this plan compared to this $102 Part B give back plan. Sense?
Mhm.
HMO plans, I'll give you the floor, Anna. Oh, I know she had to jump off at some point, so that was her jumping point. She couldn't take it anymore. She had to go to another meeting. Sorry about that. So the HMO is in this greater Detroit, Ann Arbor, Lansing, Flint kind of area, right? This plan is on fire for 2023 for sales for the right reasons. We talked about how HMO plans now can be used nationally. You're not restricted to a regional area. You can go to any HMO doctor nationally. So if people are spending time in Florida, which is really good today, right? They can use the HMO doctors down there. So this has a super low maximum out of pocket. This one has the 100 per quarter OTC debit card. It's that same green spending account card, right? This one is pretty cool. It has Papa Pal program, so the Papa Pal is on this plan, and also $1,000 is added onto that card for dental, vision, hearing. So anything that's covered in the dental, vision, and hearing plans, there's an additional $1,000 to use towards that. So the dental on this one is $2,500. There's no copays, so it's $2,500 to use right away. There's another $1,000 they can use towards things. That's $3,500 to actually use a year for dental. This HMO, it's pretty significant. Everybody's asking you about dental. It used to be important that they could use their plan at the doctors they want to go to. Now they just want to make sure they have the dental.
Can you explain real quick again that covers doctors in Florida? So as a network,
Humana, yep, Humana's HMO network is a national footprint now. So it used to be you had to use, if you had an HMO in Detroit, you could only go to HMO doctors in Detroit. So now they've expanded for members, they can use the HMO network nationally.
oh, okay. Thank you.
And sometimes it's just helpful to have that to go to Cleveland Clinic in Ohio, or want to go to a doctor over in Grand Rapids. Who knows? Even it's within the same state, it just makes it a lot easier if you're doing some traveling or getting outside of going. Does that help?
Yes, that does. Thank you.
Oh, sure. How's everybody doing? I don't see any questions. I don't see anything out there yet. Hopefully we're doing all right. I'm checking in. Is everybody still awake? How are we doing? Are we drinking enough coffee today?
I don't see
I live
any
in Duluth,
questions.
Minnesota. Some of you know that, and the sun is shining, and it's like 30 degrees outside. I was thinking about Michelle's going on vacation. Maybe you should have come up here to Lake Superior for your winter getaway.
No, I don't think so. I think this skin needs some sun, so I'll be heading
Good.
south. Well,
I'm going to
awesome.
zip through some slide shots here really fast. I'm not going to go through this in detail. I just want to make sure you see some things, some tools. Service inquiries for you to get questions answered on billing and all kinds of stuff is in Vantage. A bunch of options that you can do that with. The last 2 slides I'm going to show you. I just want to make sure you know there's a tool in Vantage for you to get help with billing, with just random questions you get from members. You can kind of throw it in there, set it, forget it. Just to simply order a new ID card, you can do that in here. And this saves so much time. It's amazing how few actually service-related calls I get from brokers because they're using this now. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, I think. So right there. Hey,
All right, well, good. That was very, very helpful. And you guys
it's
have
a ton of
some
information to
great
throw out. Sorry
plans.
about that.
No, that was very good. So if any of you should have any questions, you can always reach out to myself. I'm the lead at Insurance Advisors Direct for Humana. So you can always reach out to me, or you can reach out to Jason. But don't reach out to me between the 1st and the 10th this month or March. I will
Stay
be.
away from Michelle.
That's right. So, well, thank you everyone for joining today. And thank you for, if you have any, thank you for your questions. And don't forget, we do have that podcast out there. If you didn't get this information, it will be posted on YouTube. So you can always review it again. And you can do that through our portal, or you can just go straight out to YouTube. Okay. So thank you very much, Jason. I appreciate it. And
Great. Thank you for having
stay
me.
warm.
It's nice to be
Stay
here with
warm.
everybody. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.